bridge designing. That's a bridge. I thought it looked really weird. It's a weird looking bridge.
For real.
Oh my god.
I don't know if he's just.
Oh! Why did it do that? Okay. So my challenge is to use Bridge Designer to engineer a cost-effective truss bridge that will support a 2-lane highway across the river valley. Do I have to read my bid proposal? So yes.
Just talk about it.
Okay. Well, this is my bid proposal. My original estimation was that I would get $290,000, but you know, we got a little lower than that. So yeah, I figured I'd spend about $50,000 on excavation and $240 on materials. Pretty much what? Okay. There's a thin line between invention and innovation. Inventions aren't counted. What? Some inventions aren't counted as inventions and cannot be patented. There are millions of inventions that nobody made any money from. Inventions are almost completely gone because it's kind of hard to come up with an original idea. So innovations are much more common. Bridges are everywhere in our world. The bridge that I designed uses very similar geometry to real-life bridges. And I learned during this project that triangles are the strongest shape, and that's why they're used on every bridge ever. So, the main issue that I had while designing my bridge was trying to get cheaper than James, while still having my bridge, still stand. Although I was able to make my bridge pretty cheap, wasn't able to get cheaper than James. Overall, I was happy with my final bridge design. He even looks like the devil.
Oh, come on.
What?
Oh, come on. What is it?
Wearing a dress.
What?
I learned a lot about the program that we used to design our bridge. There are several factors to consider as far as cost is concerned. I have learned all kinds of things about bridge planning throughout this project. The process to managing the cost of the bridge was relatively simple. I'd build it and then make the pieces as small and as skinny as I could. But there was a specific piece that cost extra, even though you made it little. It was weird. James has an advanced understanding of the difference between the types of steel. I didn't really get it. So he has set the trend in the classroom, and we all followed it pretty close. I mean, all of our bridges ended up looking kind of the same. But on my first day, I began designing my bridge. That was first, and I would consider that to be a prototype. I figured out which materials are cheaper than others, and yeah. Whoa. On my second day, I was jealous of James because he got his insanely cheap, and he was using some other weird materials, and I don't understand. But I was able to get it cheaper than the previous day. I got it to 186.5. It gets lower than that later on. So on my third day, I continued to brainstorm. We got down to this, which I believe is not the cheapest I got it. But that is pretty much the design. A little different. It changed a little bit. The engineering design process is identifying an issue and then trying to create something to solve that issue. And you have to go through a lot of trial and error trying to figure out what is going to best solve your problem. In conclusion, I feel that I achieved my goal. I made it across the river valley. I got my bridge to $111,000 cheaper than my initial bid proposal. I would not like to do this again just because we spent a really long time doing it. But I feel like I've learned all that I can from this. I like the creative freedom, and I would consider myself successful in this project. I learned how different shapes and structures distribute the tension. and I really enjoyed working on this project. That is my cost report, final. It ended up being 184, and yeah, I only used like a few pieces. Yep. Vocabulary.
All right. Yeah. Inspiration. I took a picture of that picture
The picture is terrifying. Put it on your story. Why? Don't. It's embarrassing.
Four.
Who's that for?
Here.
He's got 3.
I got
2. You
I
got
got 3.
What?
I'm 3.
Yeah, he's
Nobody disputed that.
I'll just stick to
Morgan had it.
I was just 5.
Already 2.
I was just 5, so.
You're 1.
I'm 1.
You're 1 game.
No, I was 3. Jensen said you took my number.
Here we go.
What's going on here?
Oh, dang it!
Yeah! I'll go.
That's not Morgan's first. He's got 3.
Oh, I like it.
Just give me my mom.
Unit 1, Invention Innovation Unit. Alright. Here's my bid proposal. The challenge was to design a bridge for the sanctuary, and it would require a bridge to support large delivery truck access. And I asked the mayor to build my bridge for a total of roughly 300,000 would be what I was shooting for.
Seems weird.
Why is DVP so good at it?
Do a quicker swipe. Short and fast.
There.
Yeah, there you go.
About invention and innovation, invention is the process of coming up with a new idea and product to make a solution to the problem. And innovation is the process of bettering the product that has already been invented. When it comes to the invention part of bridge building, I started off by inventing a new bridge that was strong enough to uphold a loaded truck to go across the valley. And then I just went and innovated it each and every day. A project for the real world. Our project relates to the real world through triangular designs and the problem of the wildlife reserve and the need of a bridge to move supplies in and out. So this is my final bridge, and this is another bridge that can be used for real world example. The problems I had. My biggest constraint was the amount of money that I used to build a bridge that would stretch across the little valley. I started out with a large bridge as my prototype, and then I got to brainstorming and found out about the excavating process, which made the bridge itself much smaller and easier to build. Some would say that I started the trend of excavating to build smaller bridges, making them cheaper. The difference between invention and innovation. Innovation and invention are two polar opposites when it comes to the engineering world. Inventions are the original idea that solves a problem, and it is a very opinionated subject on whether a product is actually an invention or it's just innovative. Innovation is the process of strengthening the invention or just finding small ways to critique that product or object. My first day using the bridge builder software was a tragic instance in the history of our country. I was a lost puppy at sea, and I had zero ideas what I was doing. My bridges constantly broke, and I thought the first project was not by any means going to meet the criteria. I also learned about the positions of the members. I tried to make the members of the bridge even smaller by moving the points where the steel comes together to make it $1,000 cheaper. That did not work at all. I made the whole bridge collapse in a catastrophe. Price range. The price of steel varied quite a bit depending on the size and type of steel. I found that certain parts called for certain sizes and certain types of steel to achieve peak cheapness for the bridge. I learned that the main sizes for quench and tempered steel was 130, 90, and 75. My ultimate goal was to make the cheapest bridge that seemed possible. I started out at roughly 200 grand and slowly worked my way down to 174 grand. My biggest strategy was to find the strongest part of the bridge and make it smaller, resulting in a cheaper bridge that was built. This was my final cost. I ended up using like 17 total pieces. In conclusion, I ended up making my bridge proposal goal of $300,000, and I made the goal by a whopping 100 grand. I didn't think it was possible, and that was total blasphemy when I started my project. I ended up doing this thanks to my strongest and make it weaker type of strategy. Hit my vocab.
Not bad. I'll take 3.
Yeah, I'll take. Oh no, I'm taking 2.
Hey!
Oh,
Whoa!
it's 1.
More.
It was 1. I clicked it. Let's go, Marks.
I'll get the best car I've ever had.
I'll go.
That's easy.
Bridge builder.
So,
My bid proposal. My challenge was to apply my building skills under the pressure of the clock by submitting a proposal to the cheapest estimate. This is my bid proposal right here. So basically, I'm the CEO of Morgan's Bridge. I'm the CEO of this, and I'm looking to build an advanced bridge that goes across the river. I'm planning on making the bridge around above $200,000, and I did successfully do that. About Invention Innovation. Invention involves creating something entirely new, for example, the first light bulb or the telephone. Innovation, on the other hand, is a process of improving the existing creations and finding new applications for them. A typical example could be transforming a smartphone from basic communication devices to powerful pocket computers. Relate the project to the real world. I tried to go off, but my first day, my bridge is based on the real bridge in the bottom left. Creating the bridge was hard because there's a lot of math and stats involved with this. I just realized I misspelled theirs. What problems did I have? The main problems I had was building and making sure that the bridge doesn't break. The bridge is easy to break if the metal is too thin. For example, if you have it at like 80 by 50 by 7, if you use hollow, then it breaks very easily. How I fixed that problem was making the bridge smaller and the metal bigger to support the truck, the bridge, and the massive truck that goes across. So, what did I learn? Day 1, I almost got the bridge to under 198, but on my iteration number 40. I got through 40 iterations on that first day. I'll keep going until I reach 190. I learned that the excavating function from the higher level to the smaller bridges. So instead of from going this high, you go all the way down here to create the smaller and cheapest bridges. The bridge worked for what it was built for. And now I worked on the top half of the bridge. I learned that at level 0 you can build the cheaper levels on level 4, and it was at $175,000 or money. How I feel about the process? I tried a different bridge, and it worked for a little bit, but then it sank into the ocean like a dog going through something. Day 3. Today I learned that you can add an arch to the bridge to limit the cost a little bit. The bridge was successful, but as soon as I changed it, it sank.
right here, if you see how red those points are, that's exactly what broke, all these edges here. I am progressing very well. I wish I was a little bit better at bridge building, but that's just life.
Life can't go the way you expected.
Day 4, I learned that you can add a support to the bridge, like this middle cross beam, to limit the cost, and the same thing happened. I wish it was a little better, but building the bridges was a fun process. The other problems I had was the bridge of the full length. The full length bridge was a lot harder to do and keep under budget, but we'll work hard with determination and grit, and I managed to do just that. My final bridge for the full length was 107. 207, my bad. Did I have fun? I had a lot of fun with this bridge builder. Building the bridge and finishing the project is satisfying.
Yeah.
The more you build, the more fun it becomes for me. And like, when I built something that made everyone laugh, was cool. I try to make everyone laugh, that's just a part of me. My challenge again is to apply building skills and the pressure of the clock. My final cost was less than my bid. I tried to simplify this as much as I could. I met my bid proposal goal because of determination and grit. I would love to do this again because building bridges. Who doesn't want to build a bridge every now and then? If you were a kid and you loved Legos, what's the first thing you built? Something that holds something. What I like about the project is the builder mainly because when you build the bridge, you're able to test it and see if the bridge fails or not. The main success I had was the project is getting my bridge under 210 grand. I learned that about the stress levels of supports and the compression of the supports. The bottom ones are the compressing, and if you put the supports on top, the top becomes a stress. I went from knowing nothing to build a bridge under $400,000 to building one under 210, like I said. I'm definitely not an inventor or innovator because there are too many things even to invent, but you can innovate like no problem. All right. Thank you. Oh, you're too kind. Keep in mind I was under pressure.
Give me a 2.
No. Wow.
Yeah,
I got 2.
No, I got the 2 the whole time.
James,
Give me 2.
Michael.
What are you
I
talking
was
about?
under pressure.
Give me 2.
I was
Okay,
under
one
pressure, so I had to delete one slide because I had to do it yesterday and today.
What? Oh, are we just going over half or under half?
1,000.
Michael, over or under half?
Way over. Ooh, way over.
Do you want to go or do you want to go? Parker, do you want to go?
Parker,
Yeah, I'll be going.
Yeah.
I think he means that.
Way over half. So far over half. Why'd you even pick the under? Why'd you even consider the under? All right.
Guys, focus.
Oh wait. Invention Innovation by me, Bridge Builder 2016. Bridge Builder L3, designing from scratch. The Bridge Builder. My SMART goal. My challenge is to design 2 attractive, creative, and affordable solutions and write a professional bid proposal in support of your ideas. My bid proposal. Basically, I was just like, hey, I'm building this bridge. I adjusted my bid proposal after I finished the bridge because I was told to do that, so it fits the constraints of what I did to a T. About my technology, the bridge builder that we use has the ability to create bridges, joints, and different metals with different thicknesses. It allows you to build all kinds of bridges as well as ones that it provides templates for. You can also change things such as the type of concrete on the bridge, the abutments, which is the arch, and add a pier, add cable attachments, and excavate the mountains on either side of the bridge to make the bridge shorter. Here's the elevation, support configuration where you can add an arch, you can add a pier, cable anchorages. Here's the layouts, deck materials. Relate my launcher to the real world. My bridge is in a similar design of a real life bridge. The major difference is that my bridge dips down and the real bridge goes up in the middle. My bridge is also a lot lower and it needs a pier. What problems did I have? One problem that I had was making a cheap and stable bridge that would hit. Oh, it would hit a place where I couldn't make any parts of my bridge cheaper without it breaking. I would reduce the thickness of one piece and then like half of my bridge would fall apart. One way that I solved this on my full-length bridge was I made a weird little adjustment that made my bridge more stable and cheaper. The picture on top doesn't hold when I make some of the parts smaller. The picture on the bottom, that's not supposed to be there, that easy. It's more stable when I made the parts smaller, and it was like $800 cheaper. I think it's because this is more of a straight structure, able to bear more of a load. What did I learn? On the first few days of this launcher, I learned about the difference between invention and innovation. I also learned about a few inventors and innovators. Here are two of them I learned about. I learned about the invention of the wooden golf tee, and I learned about the innovation of the golf ball. We got golf balls there. The engineering design process, EDP. The engineering design process has a few different parts. First, you must define your problem. Then you gotta do research on the issue. After is a cycle that can be repeated as many times as you need. The cycle includes designing a solution, building, testing, evaluating, and then redesigning. Some research and development might be required to get your start. This cycle can solve many problems and create many inventions like the Dyson vacuum. The creator of the Dyson went through this process 5,127 times before he got his final design. Before he got his dual cyclone bagless vacuum design. That's what I got. Alright, first days of Bridge 1. On the first day of making the bridge, I'd already beaten the extended sub goal of $200,000 with my prototype, and I hadn't found any good strategies for making it cheaper. On the second day, I made some more advancements and gotten the bridge down to $187,552. Wow. I added a pier and made my bridge centered around that support instead of just the tension of the parts. First days of the second bridge, I attempted to build a bridge. Oh, that's not supposed to be on that one. Which one? Oh shoot, one of the slides got deleted.
You just skipped
I skipped it.
Result of bridge.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yep. My bad. On the final days, I finalized my design for the bridge and reduced the size of parts down to the cheapest while still stable. I got the design of the bridge to support the weight I needed and almost no extra. My bridge allowed for some flex, which helped it to stay standing. My final price of the bridge was $180,635. All of us in the class fell into the trend of designing our bridges in an inverted arch design, which is what this is called when it dips down and then goes back up.
Okay.
No.
Hey, who can
Yeah.
Just a quick little flip, like.
I got it.
I don't know why it worked for me.
Slide, please. Alright, first day is the second bridge. On this one, I attempted to build a bridge with new criteria of not excavating. On the first day, I made a bridge that was around $240,000. I deleted that bridge to restart my design. On the second day, I got my design that I was going to stick with the whole time. I used a lot of the techniques from the last bridge, just scaled up. Yeah, it's not working. God. Second bridge results. I got my final design of this bridge down to around $203,000. My final design included that funky little adjustment down there and a pier in the middle. One thing I did to make this bridge cheaper was changing all the material to the cheapest metal. After that, I changed the metal to a stronger metal until the bridge held. After that, I just changed the thickness until it would be on the cusp of breaking. Conclusion. I felt my bid proposal was okay. I got my point across. Could have had more detail, but my bid proposal was based directly around the results of my first design of my bridge, so I fit into the constraints of the bid proposal. If I could do this launcher again, I would, and I would keep trying to get my bridges cheaper, even though I completed all the launcher's goals, so I have no reason to. Something I liked about this launcher was that we could all collaborate and try to make the cheapest bridge with each other's help. I learned that we could complete the challenges with the bridge builder, because last year, no one even got close. This project went well. I had success building my bridges. I got them vocabs.
Hey! Yeah, Michael, 101. 1. Two. Oh, look, get out. Turn. Hey-oh.
Oh, puppy, puppy, puppy.
What happened to the dice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Devin wasn't here to force the use of them.
I like the use of the dice.
Alright, here's my presentation.
Remember when you got the
Unit
one dice
1,
and not
bridge
man
building
on one?
presentation by me, obviously. Invention versus innovation. Bid proposal. My challenge, the challenge that was assigned to me was to build a bridge for a make-believe town and win the bid. The original task was to make a bridge under 200,000, full length. My bid proposal actually got stolen. Lost track somewhere. I don't know where it went. My bid proposal for the full length bridge was 196,000, and then for the descaled bridge was 180,000. And yeah, this was my cost calculation report. About invention and innovation. Invention. There was a new product, system, process that had never been existed before. Never ever. Ever. I used invention by creating the design of my bridge and building my bridge. Innovation, improvement of an invention. And I use innovation by making my bridge cheaper over time. Here's an example from an invention. The plow by John Deere. And then here's an innovation of the plow. Relate your project to the real world. My method of building a bridge would be used in the real world. It would be used because it is the cheapest option out there. In contrast, the bridge might be declined by through its bridge proposal because of how brittle it is. It's a little sketchy. And my methods of invention would be used though because the bridge builders are looking for the cheapest and most efficient bridge. Innovation of my bridge would also be used in the real world because they're trying to make it as cheap as possible. And my bridge is realistic in design to the bridge on the left. So you can see the design, something the same. Probably would be declined by like a big city mayor because they're not really looking for a cheap bridge. They're trying to be fancy and all that, spend their money. But if I brought it to a small town mayor, he'd probably say yeah, because it doesn't cost the town much.
Whoa.
What problems did you have? Problems I had was my bridge was not designed properly right away. Trial and error, happened to a guy. So no matter what I did, my bridge was not getting any cheaper. Until over here, so I kind of had to redesign a little bit because that wasn't doing it for me. So I solved my problem by getting a new bridge design, as we can see over here. I created a model that let me use the least money as possible. This was like the first day of the full length bridge, bridge builder day 1. On this day I invented the bridge design. I tried to get it as stable as possible, but I learned that there was too much going on within the design, and that it wasn't going to work because it was just too heavy, and there was no supports in the middle. I tried to innovate that new bridge design to make it as cheap as possible, but the design was not working. The cross supports were just too much, and it wasn't cheap enough. I learned that they're just going to cave in the middle and I need to use the pier.
Whoa.
tried to make a more cheap prototype. I learned that using carbon steel wasn't going to work because it just broke way too fast, way too heavy. So I started fiddling around with different things, different materials, and it came to my mind that it was going to be quench tempered steel. That was going to be, it was a little more expensive, but it was sturdier. I brainstormed cheap enough. I brainstormed cheap enough options, but it never really worked. The middle was always giving out. So I researched and developed up here and tried that design to make the middle more stable. As you can see, this design, pretty cool, but wasn't doing it for me. Middle was still giving out. So, yeah.
Okay.
I came up with a new bridge design that took the tension off the middle of the bridge. It worked really well. Built the whole bridge with my quench tempered steel. This helped make the bridge more sturdy and cheaper. Yeah.
Okay.
And this was the final bridge product. I learned that this was going to be the cheapest I was going to get the bridge, and I learned that the pier was going to help a lot because it helped support the middle so that it didn't just cave in every time I tried to drive a truck across. Conclusion. The criteria was to design a bridge for site. Requires a sturdy roads for large delivery truck access. It was supposed to be on like the Yellowstone Reserve or something. But Mr. Pondu told us to do whatever you want, wherever we want, whatever. So yeah, the challenge was to design two attractive, creative, and affordable solutions. Bridges. We did the descaled bridge and then the full-length bridge. And within the unit, I learned how to build a couple different bridges. The first one, we were able to excavate the land, and the other, we had to build a bridge across the whole river span. We had constraints on excavating the land on the second bridge, and for the first bridge, we came across a cheap bridge, but it wasn't the cheapest in the class. As we know, James got like 177, 178. And for the second bridge, I came up with the cheapest bridge. The trend of the project was to make the cheapest bridge to appeal whomever you were building the bridge for. I learned that a lot. I learned a lot about the bridge building process in a lesson, and I found a lot of enjoyment in the unit. My cost calculations, yeah, I kind of lost those, so I kind of ramble here about them. I liked, the best part about the project that we did throughout the 20 days was, my favorite part was winning. I loved winning at second bridge. Pretty nice. I succeeded in being the best full-length bridge builder, and I learned how to build the cheap bridges.
Sir.